All right, let's check out our kind of people. So we open up in an idyllic beach town called Oak Bluffs. Okay, and we got what looks like a mama, a daughter, and maybe her sister heading up to Oak Bluffs where the black elite hang out. Okay, but now I guess this ain't Debbie's daughter. Maybe it's her niece. But she starts crying because, her mama done left her a building and she's just overwhelmed with emotion. I guess the building is what she used to get her new business started. Yeah, she opened up a pop-up shop where her mama used to work as a maid. Okay, so now we got Morris Chestnut and what looks like his two kids getting off a private plane. And so we see the overbearing grandmother's waiting for them at the airport, and she's like, oh, thank goodness. I thought I'd have to prepare for tonight's gala myself. It's the social event of the season. This is giving me a Scarlet Pimpernel tea, or Count of Monte Cristo. So now we back with Debbie Allen and her nieces, and they pull up to the house that the mama left them, and apparently the mama ain't tell nobody who the daughter's daddy was. I'm guessing it's probably somebody in one of the high-end families. And now we get a flashback to the mama with the daughter, and she getting her ready to meet her pappy, but apparently it never happens. Yeah, it looks like the pappy just want to pay her off and don't want nobody to know about this secret baby. So the mama just kick him out. The next day, she's telling her sister, I'm gonna get you to join Jack and Jill. And the truth is, your network is your net worth. That's who you're gonna be interviewing with. So I see why she for it. The daughter said, oh, I've been working on stuff already. I got us invited to a party. Cut to the party that Morris Chestnut and his people was planning. And it's fabulous. No Tyler Perry budget over here. And so now we see Debbie Morgan and her girls at the party. And Yaya says, my father could be here and I wouldn't even know it. So she gonna find him this season. So the youngest niece goes up to get a drink and she just wants a club soda, but one of Morris Chestnut's kids says, oh no, let's take a vodka for the lady. And she's like, okay. So while he talking to her, Lauren come up and just completely ignore her. And then another girl comes up, Taylor. She's giving us Tiana Taylor energy. And she's like, honey, you being rude. What's your name, dear? So she says, oh, I'm Nikki. I'm new. We opened a store on Deloitte Street for natural hair care. But Lauren's like, we have a Jack and Jill photo to take. This is about me. Ooh, but that crap she got in her head. It's something that Dorit would try to pull, but it ain't the look. So Taylor invites her to meet them tomorrow at the dock at 9, and she's a little hesitant. However, across the party, Yaya introduces herself to Morris and his wife as the host. And immediately the wife said, where's your husband? Okay, so the other girl is her daughter, and that's not her sister, and she's 17. Yaya don't look old enough to have nobody's 17-year-old daughter. Oh, Lord. So she says, I appreciate all the work that you doing for black women and single mothers. And she said, I'd like to give you a donation. And she pulled out this little check. And the check was so wrinkled. It was like it should be a crisp check with a fold. Maybe you could have pulled it out of the bosom, but it just looked like it had been crumpled up. The wife looked at that and said, the donation box is over there. I'm not touching that dirty check. Morris is like, oh, Lord, I married a snob. But after that snubbing from the snob, she walks away and her shoe falls off, and who but Lance Gross gives her a Cinderella moment, helping her put it back on. But then again, you gotta watch out. He could be your brother. This is why you need to know your pappy. So the next morning, Yaya's on her social media showing off her hair care products. Now we get in a flashback to her mama teaching her how to make the conditioner. Oh, Lord, but now we got Joe Morton, and I'm betting he's the pappy. He seems to be the head of Franklin Holdings, which is strong in the Bluffs and the African-American community. But after the meeting, the daughter cussing the dad out for interfering with zoning, bribing local officials to get this stadium's deal through. Well, they've been doing it for years, so I don't know why you're shocked. That's how business is done. Grow up. The daddy said, look, we ain't going back to the fields. So we gonna do what we have to do to make sure everybody in my family's safe. I take that job very seriously. So if you want your neighborhood lifted up, well, this stadium deal has to go through because how else are we gonna pay for it? Like I said, grow up. Now we got Morris Chestnut on the basketball court and inviting his son to some meeting where we're going to see some black men in power. Back at Yaya's house, she trying to get in good with the Franklins, especially the wife, because she's like, look, they can help me out, and I don't want them to think I'm some ratchet heifer from Boston. And Debbie Morgan said, but you are, heifer. You are. You got it, honest. But there's a knock at the door, and Lance Gross has sent her an invitation and some new Louboutin heels. However, there's a knock at the door, and Lance Gross has not just sent some new Louboutin heels, but an invitation to a party tonight. Wait a minute. They saying Yaya ain't had nobody knock the dust off that thing in 17 years? I don't buy it. However, across town, Yaya's daughter arrives at the dock for the party. So Tiana and Q are happy to see her, the sister Lauren still looking stank, but now we see somebody writing lies in lipstick over Morris Chestnut and his children's family portrait. And Yaya showing up to Lance's party, and she ain't wearing the shoes that he gave her, and she says, I can buy my own shoes. He said, well, can I get you a drink? She's like, okay, you can get me a drink, but I'm taking them shoes back to consignment. I could use that $3,000 cash. Shoes didn't look comfortable, no way. You know how painful red bottoms are. That's why they're called red bottoms, because your feet are red at the bottom when you done wearing them. However, back at the daughter's party, somebody's screaming, Taylor! Taylor! Something didn't happen to Tiana. So it was Lauren screaming, and apparently Taylor done fell off the boat. She said we were arguing and we were drunk, and I guess the heifer fell off. You can't use that Natalie Wood defense. At Yaya's party, she asked Lance if he a shoe salesman, and he said, no, I just wanted you to get in good with Leah, because she's a tough nut to crack. Oh, hell no. Okay, what now they just start kissing and deep, passionate kiss when you'd have known this man for 2 seconds? See, that's why you don't go 17 years without no dick. Now, girl, this is giving me Tyler Perry right now. I need some plausibility. If you ain't giving no puss up after 17 years, you ain't just gonna be making out with somebody like this at a party that you don't know. I wouldn't be making out like this at a party like this with somebody I don't know. When I'm trying to get my business off the ground, the first thing I'm gonna do is make out at a party when I just got into town to look like a fast-tailed hussy. Because you know these people gonna talk. However, before Yaya can get that leg up, her daughter called about the boat accident. Now, they done found Tiana Taylor and pulled her out the water, taking her to the hospital. However, now they want to know how it happened. And I can see Lauren pushing that heifer off the boat. Oh, hell no! Now Leah's saying, oh, Yaya's daughter was drunk as hell. I was nowhere near Tiana Taylor when this happened. So she set her up. Lord, so they get home. Yaya pissed at her daughter. They fortunately didn't arrest her. But she's like, now hold on, you smoking weed again? The daughter's like, I just had one drink. They offered me one drink. So apparently the daughter is in a diversion program for drugs, and she's like, the judge could still put you back in jail if they get a whiff of tonight's nonsense. So you're grounded, heifer. So the next day, Yaya take her daughter to some fancy charity ladies meeting, and we see Leah Franklin DuPont is taking over as the new head chair. Across town, we got the men's kingship meeting with Joe Morgan and Morris Chestnut heading up the meeting. Back at the ladies' meeting, Yaya's friend nominates her, and Leah's mama-in-law is like, oh, we don't know much about you, dear. So then Leah gets up and says, you know, you got to get 2/3 of the vote to be let in the club, and we're going to be watching all you ladies this summer to see what you bring to the table. However, the first social event of the season is the mother-daughter fashion show. Yaya offers to do glam, but of course, Leah's like, no, you can do food and beverage. We're going to have Tiffany do glam. So Yaya is upset that she had to lie about her mama's past at the meeting. She said she was a businesswoman and not a maid, but shoot, that's a business. And she was trying to get her hair stuff off the ground, so she was a businesswoman. But she asked her baby to the mother-daughter fashion show because she's like, look, I'm just trying to be a better mama to you than mine was to me. Okay, so now apparently Leah's daughter's phone and is seeing a video with her cuddled up with Tiana Taylor. And they talk about some scheme and telling people the truth and bad influences. So apparently her falling in the water was something they set up. So we've got Secret Lesbon, Secret Lesbon, Secret Lesbonics. Now we at the mother-daughter fashion show and things are getting set up. Of course, the mother-in-law was there first and she is getting in Leah's ass. Are you going to be late all the time? Your mother certainly wouldn't have been. However, the mama-in-law handed Leah an envelope saying, oh, Angela Vaughn is a disruptor and her family has a long, dark history on the island. But apparently they highfalutin stylists fell through, so Yaya has stepped up and her hair skills are quite impressive. Take a lesson, Tyler. So the fashion show goes well, the hair looks great. However, Leah says to her daughter, you are wasted. And she does look a little high. But after the show, Yaya daughter come up to her and say, I got a video of you and your girlfriend being the baby les as you are. She said, oh, Tiana must have put the phone in my bag. She wanted somebody to know the truth, so you ain't gotta hide, heifer. Oh, God, but now Leah lies again when her mama run up. She say, this girl keeps threatening me when she was just trying to get you to live in your truth. And of course, Leah say, what is it with you and your family? You are not welcome here. Yaya gonna tell Leah, you need to act like you was raised right and say thank you, because I saved your butt. Oh my goodness. So now Leah's telling all the business about her mama, that she was selling drugs out her salon and she got arrested. She was a maid. And Yaya was like, okay, so my mama was a maid. But then when you throw that drug dealer on it, it's like, ooh. But still, that's your mama, that ain't you. And heifer, you know your daddy a crook too, bribing officials and skirting zoning laws. How you gonna get on somebody else for sins growing in your backyard? She's a two-faced heifer, a hypocritical heifer. You can act like I've been mistreating you, but we all know that you've been lying to get access into this club. You're a liar, and a fraud. And then they're gonna find out about your daughter doing weed, and that's gonna seal the deal. So now we got Leah with her pappy, and she says, you know, I tore somebody down today, but I don't think the ends justified the means, so you gonna retire early, and I'm taking over the company. I have enough information and evidence of your dirty deeds to put you away for a while. Back at Yaya's house, she digging into her mama's case, because she like, I didn't know nothing about this, and maybe I could find my pappy. Okay, so they find a little videotape in the box, and then she realizes this is the same silhouette that she saw when she was a kid. So that's the pappy, Teddy Franklin. So she's a Franklin. So we ended with Eve going to pick up her wig from Leah, and they have a sit down, and Leah's like, you know, I'm not trying to tear down black women. I normally don't. And Eve's like, I think you a slave to this lifestyle, and only thing I have is the boarding house my mama left me on Dolores Street. But she tell her Eve's crown can hook up them dry ends. However, now Yaya knows she's a Franklin, and this heifer's sister. Y'all are half sisters. Oh, and she taking a piece of the sister's hair out of the wig so she can do a DNA. Okay, for a first episode, it could have been a little tighter. I like that it moved fast. They set everything up real quick. I'm interested. I'm going to keep watching. It's you know, if we can strengthen the story a bit, I got to say it was a little weak for a pilot. It was a little weak, but it was still pretty good. We've got some of our favorite people. I'm looking forward to it. Who's behind this? It ain't Sissy Daniels, is it? Lord. He's been quiet recently.